What's up everyone, Alex here. With June out of the way, we're careening towards the second half of 2023, and I thought it'd be great to find out what JRPGs are coming in the next few months. So I compiled an exhaustive list of JRPGs that you're gonna wanna keep tabs on. We're kicking this list off with our sponsors who wanted me to tell you about Noob the Factionless. Noob the Factionless is a turn-based RPG that tells the epic and humorous adventures of a guild of beginner players in a fictional MMORPG. Together, they hope to quickly reach level 100, with the ultimate goal of raising their guild's notoriety and achieve the title of the greatest guild in the game's history. Best of all, Noob the Factionless is a colorful tribute to the greatest JRPGs of all time, with over 50 hours of gameplay and a plethora of ways to customize your fighters, thanks to all the loot you'll find in dungeons, caves, chests, and of course, shops. If you're a fan of games like Bravely Default 2, Fantasian, or Secret of Mana, you're gonna enjoy this game. The digital version of Noob the Factionless is out right now, but there's a physical edition coming out for consoles on August 29th, and you can pre-order it via the link in the description. Silent Hope is an isometric dungeon crawler that has you controlling 7 heroes with different fighting styles, weapons, and crafting abilities. The kingdom has been cursed by an evil king who has taken their voices and has escaped into a dark abyss, and it's up to you to reclaim the citizenry's voices and save the land. The game is coming out on October 3rd on Switch and PC. I'd love to see more of this game and how the gameplay loop functions, so I'll be keeping an eye out for this one. Granblue Fantasy is real! This multiplayer action RPG has you going on quests, not so dissimilar to Monster Hunter, as you defeat massive bosses and follow a fantasy-rich tale set in the Granblue Fantasy universe. I am personally looking forward to seeing how the action combat is gonna play, especially since Cygames took over the work of Platinum Games from years before. And I can't wait to take down some gigantic enemies and engage in some combo stringing alongside friends. Granblue Fantasy Relink is slated to come out sometime this year on PlayStation platforms and PC. Monochrome Mobius, Rights and Wrongs Forgotten, is releasing on PlayStation platforms on September 5th in the US and September 8th in EU regions. Monochrome Mobius is a turn-based RPG set in the Utawarerumo no series, featuring huge explorable fields as well as more traditional JRPG presentation that is unlike the series it belongs to. Set before the events of Utawarerumo no Mask of Deception, you play the role of Oshtor, who encounters a mysterious girl who tells him that his father is still alive. Together with the mysterious girl, Oshtor travels in pursuit of his father, with the hopes of unraveling the reason why he faked his own death. Utawarerumo no didn't connect with me personally, but seeing a turn-based RPG created in the same universe does interest me a fair bit, so I'm keeping an eye out for this one. The Legend of Nayuta: Boundless Trails is an action RPG that is a trail side story of sorts. Originally released in 2012, this remaster has a lot more in common with Falcom's Ys series than the turn-based series it belongs to. The Western release is based on the Kai version released on PS4 in 2021, which includes dialogue portraits, remaking of key event illustrations, higher frame rate, and better quality sound. Unlike Zero and Azure, the version of Nayuta coming to the Switch is being done in-house by Falcom, with PH3 handling the PC port. Regardless of what platform you're playing it on, Nayuta Boundless Trails is coming out on September 22nd on PS4, Switch, and PC. Disgaea 7: Vows of the Virtueless is the latest entry to the popular tactical RPG series. The series has always been known for its quirky comedy and its crazy damage numbers, and Disgaea 7 seems like it's definitely continuing in this tradition. Featuring a new system called Jumbification that lets you supersize your characters and smash entire fields of battle, and it seems like this latest entry is gonna be just as chaotic and insane as ever before. And you don't need to play the previous games to join in the fun too, and you'll be able to play it on October 3rd in the US and October 6th in EU regions, on PS4, PS5, Switch, and PC. I haven't played Disgaea since the second game, so I'm a bit curious to see how much the series has changed over the years, if at all. Rune Factory 3 Special is the latest remaster in the Rune Factory series, having already released Rune Factory 4 Special a few years ago. This series is best known for combining action RPGs with farming and crafting, but it's more involved than, say, last year's Harvestella. New features include a newlywed mode, new adventures unlocked after marrying each of the game's 11 eligible bachelorettes, and a hell difficulty level for Gluttons for Punishment. Rune Factory 3 Special comes out on September 5th on Switch and PC. I really enjoyed my time with Rune Factory 4 Special, and I can't wait to see how Rune Factory 3 Special plays in comparison to that. Tower of Fantasy is a futuristic-themed free-to-play action RPG that's releasing on PlayStation platforms on August 8th. The game is a shared world action RPG, where you encounter other players as you explore the countryside while following its main story. You have a variety of different traversal options, which include swimming, climbing, and utilizing vehicles to move around the world. I actually tried this on iOS a while back and enjoyed what little I played, so I'm eager to see how the PlayStation versions fare. Atelier Marie Remake, The Alchemist of Salburg, is a remake of the very first game in the Atelier series. Now, the catch-22 here is that Atelier Marie Remake doesn't play anything like modern Atelier. In fact, it was initially designed to be a simulation game, which is why it's very systems-heavy. Nonetheless, with a brand new cutesy art style, combat that's fun and interesting, and of course, lots and lots of crafting, this trip back to the past is sure to delight and warm our hearts. Atelier Marie Remake is coming out on July 12th on PS4, PS5, Switch, and PC. Check out my preview of the game, as well as my interview with the head of Gust, linked in the card shown and in the description of this video. Touhou New World is what you get when you combine bullet hell with Metroidvanias, and if those combinations of games confuse the heck out of you, well, me too. That said, I've always had a soft spot for bullet hell games, and if this game manages to marry the two in an interesting and fun way, count me in. And since it's a Metroidvania, you know that there'll be a ton of weapons, armors, and accessories to get. Touhou New World comes out on PC and Switch on July 13th, and on PlayStation platforms on September 12th. Eternights is an action RPG whose gameplay loop is inspired by the deadline system featured in the Persona series. With a heavy emphasis on dating and improving your relations with your friends and future love interests, Eternights' simple to pick up and play action is sure to please anyone who wants to experience action combat but without having to be overwhelmed by memorizing pages and pages of combos and such. Eternights is slated to come out on September 21st on PlayStation platforms and PC. Check out my preview of the game, linked in the card shown and in the description of this video. Dragon Quest Monsters: The Dark Prince is a turn-based RPG that marks the long-awaited return of the Dragon Quest Monsters subseries. In it, you play the role of Sorrow, a demon prince who is unable to harm monsters. To get around this, he'll have to coax monsters to his side and use their abilities to defeat his opponents, no matter the season. There are a total of 500 different monster combinations that you can unlock, and you'll even get to take your team online to battle other players. I've been told that Sorrow is from Dragon Quest IV, a game in the series that I haven't played, so I'm really excited to see what his story is all about. Dragon Quest Monsters: The Dark Prince is coming out on December 1st on the Nintendo Switch. WrestleQuest combines turn-based RPG gameplay with wrestling, and I love wrestling. It even features licensed real-life wrestlers like Andre the Giant, Jeff Jarrett, Jake the Snake Roberts, Macho Man Randy Savage, and many more. I've always thought that career modes and story modes in modern wrestling games were lacking, but WrestleQuest takes this concept and runs with it to places that are equal parts absurd and fun. And as you might expect, it's not just going to be wrestlers you're fighting either, and you won't have to wait long, because WrestleQuest comes out on August 8th on all modern platforms. Once upon a time, Squaresoft and Nintendo embarked on a project that turned into Super Mario RPG, and almost 30 years later, it's been completely remade from the ground up. It's even got a newly arranged soundtrack by Yoko Shimomura herself. Will this collaboration mean that Square Enix and Nintendo are cooking up a sequel? I can only hope so. But until then, we have Super Mario RPG Remake to look forward to when it comes out on November 17th on the Nintendo Switch. Infinity Strash Dragon Quest: The Adventure of Dai is the second Dragon Quest game we're getting this year, only this time it's an action RPG. This is based off of the latest incarnation of the Adventure of Dai anime, and the game promises to let you relive some key moments from that story. That said, I think players unfamiliar with the series can still enjoy Infinity Strash, as it's rooted in the familiarity of the Dragon Quest series. The game will feature a regular single-player story mode, as well as a Temple of Recollection, which is a procedurally generated dungeon that changes every playthrough. I also started watching the anime recently, and I'm really enjoying it, so it's gotten me hyped for the game's release on September 28th on PlayStation and Xbox platforms and PC. Persona 5 Tactica continues the adventures of the Phantom Thieves from both the mainline Persona game and its subsequent sequel, Strikers. Apart from a new character, there's not a lot of information that one can glean from the trailer announcement, aside from the fact that it'll be a tactical RPG experience this time around, with an art style definitely inspired by the Persona Q games. I'm sure we'll hear more about the game when we get closer to its launch, but for now, all I'll say is that the game is coming out on November 17th on all modern platforms. Baten Kaitos 1 and 2 HD Remaster lets us all experience this duo of Baten Kaitos games on the Switch when it comes out on September 14th. This remaster boasts improved graphics and new quality of life features to help with game progression. I've never gotten to play Baten Kaitos before, and I'm really excited to do so, especially since it's got a unique battle system that combines aspects of turn-based and action RPGs along with deck building and card games. I was a bit reluctant with games featuring cards back in the day, so I'm hoping that the games can ease me in a bit. And best of all, this is a great opportunity to experience something we've missed, so I'm looking forward to playing this re-release. Like a Dragon Gaiden, The Man Who Erased His Name, has some fans probably confused, especially the ones who haven't played beyond Yakuza 6 The Song of Life. You know who you are. For those who are caught up, this game follows Kazuma Kiryu's journey from Yakuza 6 all the way up until Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, bringing the series back to its action game roots. I can't really say much about the game, save for the fact that Kiryu now has an agent stance that lets him do cool things that he couldn't do before. But this is Kiryu. He's always ever-changing and ever-evolving. Like a Dragon Gaiden, The Man Who Erased His Name comes out on November 9th on PlayStation and Xbox platforms and PC. Crymachina, not to be confused with Crystar, is an action RPG where its mechanized heroines desire to be fully human. With no humans to serve as their guide, they must explore the world of Eden and unlock the secrets within. A number of friends have told me that the game has an in-depth weapon customization system, and when combined with dark scenery and crisp sci-fi visuals, Crymachina is promising to be a journey like no other. The game is coming out on October 24th on PS4, PS5, Switch, and PC. Cuisineer is a roguelike restaurant management sim that, much like last year's Potionomics, had me at business management. I got to play a little bit of the Steam Next Fest demo a few weeks ago, and I fell in love with the combat, which reminded me a lot of Bastion, as well as the seeming simplicity and charm of its restaurant management gameplay. Cuisineer is slated to come out in summer 2023 on PC. Sea of Stars combines the developer's love for both Super Mario RPG and Chrono Trigger all in one package, and its inspiration show. Featuring beautiful sprite work and a fantastic sounding soundtrack, this prequel to The Messenger utilizes modern technology to deliver a unique 16-bit feel that is contemporary and entices you to further explore its world. And it won't be long until this labor of love is out. as it's slated to come out on August 29th on all modern platforms. Suikoden 1 and 2 are indeed in my backlog, but you know what? I've heard enough compliments about these two that I'm eager to skip playing the PS1 copies that I got and wait for this fantastic remaster. Suikoden 1 and 2 HD Remaster, Gate Rune, and Dunen Unification Wars is coming out in 2023 for PS4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC. Speaking of Suikoden, Eiyuden Chronicle 100 Heroes is probably one of the most anticipated JRPG Kickstarters that people keep talking about. I remember a lot of people talking about this as the spiritual successor of Suikoden, and trust me, when this game comes out, if Suikoden is also out, I'm probably just gonna jump right into this game. It's gonna feature tons of playable characters, but if you're looking at these gameplay shots, the sprite work just pops right on top of the 3D environments, and I just can't wait to explore these areas and discover a brand new world. Rising last year was just a small taste, but I have no doubt that 100 Heroes is going to be an incredible experience. And the sad thing is, it only says that it's coming out this year, but it is coming out on all modern platforms, so nobody's getting left behind. Star Ocean, the second story R, was a pleasant surprise when it was first revealed at the last Nintendo Direct, and it quickly shot up as one of my most anticipated games of 2023. Featuring a completely redone presentation, presenting 2D sprites in a lush 3D background, this classic RPG is going to turn a lot of heads when it comes out. This game is widely considered as the best in Star Ocean history, and with its collector's editions already sold out, that should tell you a lot about this beloved classic. I personally can't wait to play through this game all over again, as this classic action RPG returns on November 2nd on PS4, PS5, Switch, and PC. Now that's a lot of games, but we shouldn't forget about this month, which has 15 games coming out, including a few of the games that I mentioned here. Find out what those are by clicking the video up top, and let me know which games here you'd love to check out. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.